set. This is blue tack. Blue tack. That's water. This is dry, perfectly good blue tack, the same one that I just pulled off the wall. Well, it still sticks. But the moment you touch it, it falls off. Now, this is wet blue tack, obviously, because it's got water all over it. Wet blue tack. Okay, I'm just wetting it even more. Now, this is dry piece of wool here, wet blue tack. Hey, it actually, oh, not really, but it did stay for a couple of seconds. That's about as much hold as you get when your head is wet. Hyperhidrosis. It's when you sweat too much. I don't know if I've got it, but I can tell you, I've got a gas heated house now and I've been in lockdown for months. So even though it's winter, I'm hotter than probably if I was in summer when I was trying to cool myself down with air conditioning all the time. Because gas, central heating, it's not central heating, but it just rooms up all the warm, you know what I mean? Jack Parsons mentioned Botox injections preventing sweat. I just did some research. Thank you for that comment. I can't get it out of my mind. That could potentially make any glue work. You know how some people are said to prefer a certain type of glue? Now I can tell you right now that Ultra Hold, Walker Tape Ultra Hold, the glue I use all the time, because it's the only glue that holds, because it's so thick, right? And it's always kind of half melted in a way, right? Well, when it's warm on your head. That's kind of dry and wet from my sweat, actually. That's the reason it always works, is because it's got some kind of stickiness all through. Even now, just standing in this bathroom, it's just under 70 degrees Celsius, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. There is a button on the back of this thing if I took it off the wall, but I have to take it off the wall. So I'm not gonna do that. 19 degrees Celsius. That's a normal kind of temperature, like comfortable. It feels hotter to me though, I feel hot. But I've been in the other room, I guess if I stayed in here for a while, I'd cool down, I guess. Plus I'm sleep deprived. So, why did I take my hairpiece off my head? That's the amount of time, that's double length, here's the amount of time I had it on for. Less than a week, right? Why would I take it off? Did it fall off? No. Was I picking at it because I was just hot and uncomfortable all over my body? Yes. Like lying in bed for fucking 30 hours, watching TV and fucking computers and shit. Just touching my head, and then I'm playing with it and stuff, and like unnecessarily picking at it. Like you'd pick at a scab when you're not supposed to, right? You're not supposed to pick at a hat that's glued onto your head for good reason, so you don't have to walk around as a baldy and scare little old ladies and make them like jump off the footpath onto the road and get hit by a bus. You don't want to be a murderer, so you wear the hairpiece for safety, for society. Botox injections. I just looked it up. It's about $300 in Melbourne to get, what's it called? Off-label injections. Because for sweat prevention, it's only had proper research for safety for the armpits. But for the head, $300. They said 90 to $300. I'm just gonna say $300. This is gonna take 10 to 20 vials of the stuff. All over the place, right? It's supposed to be for the forehead. It reduces 75% of the sweating by stopping the signaling of nerve cells that trigger sweat glands to release fluid. They're microbes. Botox is not made from cow intestine or something like that, thankfully. I don't care about microbes. They're all over my body. Apparently, the number of microbes that live inside your body and all over you and on your eyelids, if you zoom in, there are little spiders and shit. Microscopic ones. Scary. They weigh as much as your brain. if I could stop the sweating, potentially I could try other glues and that would just work. We've got some guy, can't remember his name, sorry. I'd have to read it. Should I read it? I'm gonna read it. Murphy Allen. I mean, he's not the first person to ever mention this. He says, use tape, it's less messy, it sticks to your head and it doesn't fall off, right? Tape's always been a piece of shit to me. It's thicker than the glue, isn't it? Of course it would be cleaner, but does it stick? It might stick if you never sweat, which brings me back to the hyperhidrosis problem. Just fucking inject me all over there. And maybe I'll be dry. And it says it lasts for 5 months apparently. 75% sweat reduction for $300. It might overheat your brain and cause you to die. Make you go cross-eyed for a long time or something. I don't know. I'd hate to overheat from heat exhaustion, right? But it's only that much of my body. Surely that won't kill me. Because I've heard the James Bond girl was covered in gold paint and she died from suffocation because your skin is actually an organ that breathes and it needs to take in oxygen and stuff. You can't just walk around in a latex bodysuit all day. I mean, after you've finished fucking crawling around on the floor and fucking doing what they told you to with the whip and zipped your mouth shut again so you'd shut the fuck up and put the collar back on and tied you to the bedpost so you can't lie down properly. You don't just fall asleep in the latex, you take it off so your body can breathe, otherwise you'll suffocate, apparently. I don't know if the soles of your feet can be naked or if you can leave those giant spikes on with dildos rotating on the end of them switched on. Don't waste the batteries. Why would you waste the batteries? Because your hands are cuffed as well to your face. Of course. I'm gonna try right now. I think I've tried this before, but I am sweating. I'm just gonna, this does have soap chemicals in it, which is not 100% clean, right? But it saves me having to run some kind of towel under the tap and making myself all wet. I'll try it. All right. I think I significantly dried that. Now it's not going to be proper scalp preparation because I'm not going to shave my... I just wash this fucking towel. And you'll be glad to know as well, if you haven't worn a hairpiece before, they don't really tend to smell bad. The smell comes from your armpits, your asshole, and probably your bed sheets. Wash them. I just washed all my bed sheets for the first time since the COVID-19 crisis. It was just yellow. Just kidding. I just thought it was time to wash them. You know? Bachelor, I don't fucking live properly and take the garbage out every year, all right? So, I have a heater, foot heater. I don't have a hairdryer, it's loud anyway, it sounds like a lawnmower. Why can't they make a quiet hairdryer? You know those smoke machines that you think, oh that's good, you use that on stage, right? Well, it's fine in a rock concert, blowing smoke goes, that noise, right? It's fine if there's music playing, but if there's a sweet silence, you just want that, you know, misty look over Phantom of the Opera, you know, when they were paddling through on the, I don't know, the underwater sewers system where he lives. Anyway, that's dry ice, that's not smoke. That's why it falls down instead of buffeting around the room and just making lighting look cool. That's even better actually. Anyway, you don't want loud things. I reckon you put some hair drying contraption motor in an insulated container, and then instead of running, you just have a hose, just like you use the vacuum cleaner, but that should be insulated as well. Why do vacuum cleaners need to sound like a fucking lawnmower inside your house? And blenders, why aren't all motors legally like just shoved in sound insulation so they don't make fucking noise. As much noise at least. Anyway. I just bought so much chocolate. I'm gonna spray some alcohol. I'm starting to sweat already. Keyboard alcohol. I think it's about 13 bucks. That's ultra hold, don't have the label on it. And that's extreme hold. I said that was $40 and that was $60, but actually that is $30 and that's $60. And also, I'm not gonna go and read the names of the people who wrote that stuff, but some people are saying use 2 layers of Max Hold Sport and 2 layers of this and it'll work. Maybe they're non-sweaters. Maybe the Max Hold Sport with 2 layers actually does do the work of the Botox to prevent hyperhidrosis. Don't know. But Botox, shit, that's like altering my DNA and stuff. That's awesome. It's like, does the Botox actually cause hairs to just sprout out and regrow? Oh yes. That's a major problem. We have to shave ladies' faces all the time after we've given them Botox. They just grow beards instantly. It's part of it. We have to shear them. Sign me up. No, it doesn't exist. It's not like whipped hair in a can. Done. Actually, no, it is, because I've just created this product and I'm going to sell this to you right now. Sadly. All right. Sleep deprivation. I recommend, even though it's more dangerous to drive when you're sleep deprived than when you're a little bit intoxicated, because everyone can drive better when they're drunk, obviously, right? It's like, oh, this is fucking easy. I've got no fear whatsoever. So you drive better, right? I still recommend you sleep deprived drive and not drink drive, because the second one's illegal. And that's the way the world works now. You should watch this documentary series on YouTube. It just has cartoon versions of everything. Why the war on drugs doesn't work, right? How that's caused so much murder in the world and crime, and $30 billion is spent annually on the US budget to prevent drugs, and 25% of the world's criminals or people in jail are in America. 25% are in one country. You're not 25% of the world's population. It's like 8 billion, you're only 25 million? Nothing. Anyway, they're saying 30 billion goes to this, I don't know, drug organization, the DEA or whatever it is. They get $30 billion a year, and they only cut out 1%, despite all their efforts. Drugs get better actually, because they've got to figure out ways to make them smaller so they're more compact, so they can get from Mexico, where most of the murders occur, to feed the drug addicts in America. It's not their fault, they just want some fucking drugs. They didn't say go and kill each other to give me the drugs. It's not their fault. There's no way this is going to stick to my hand as it is. It'll stick about as well as that blue tack did. But maybe if my head heats up over time, maybe I'll come back and shave it, stay for a while. When my hair's wet, the colours look so wrong against each other. Yeah, that's absolutely not sticking when it's got that much wetness. I should wait for that to evaporate. I'm just hoping that, even though I know it probably won't fully work, it'll somewhat work. I just won't have to peel it off and reapply glue from scratch. It takes 20 minutes or something that I can't be bothered doing. So you're going to see now that it will work enough that, you know, if I wasn't being honest with you, I'd say, yeah, that fucking worked, just do that. But I know it won't have a good hold for a long period of time. This video is going to be about, can you re-stick a used hairpiece onto your head without proper scalp preparation, or even hairpiece preparation. Just with this, with keyboard spray. See, that glue's even peeling off because it's so, like, it's so fucking hot in here. It's not just the heat, 62% humidity. That's got to have something to do with my wetness on my body, right? I mean, how much water do you need before you get a cup of water? That's got to be 100% of the glass, right? If you pour water out of the tap and it's full of water, that's 100% humidity, isn't it? Is air humidity different from water humidity? I don't know. It sounds like it should be 100% if it's actually just water. I'm just going to use the brush to sort of press it in. It's just so muggy in here. I don't know if it's completely to do with my heater in my lounge room. I think it actually does really have a lot to do with it. See, it's sticking a bit in here, down here already, but not enough really. That's torn a bit, obviously. I don't care. I haven't got any appointments with anybody at all in the foreseeable future. Yeah, so you don't need to put as much alcohol spray as I did onto your scalp. Yeah, I am very interested, Jack Parsons, in your information that you gave me there. Thank you. I shall look into Botox clinics in Melbourne. Now that at least I know they're not like pulling guts out of cows, just going right to my head. They're just little critters are going, yay, new home. Have fun, kids. Well, you can see right now I'm brushing, right? And it's stuck. It's stuck. I could get in under an edge and force it. And there's some glue that's actually on the surface there that can be sort of removed nicely if I was gonna do it properly. The thing is, I've got to walk around the house and there are windows and stuff, so I don't want my neighbours to see me sort of like old MacDonald one day and then fucking Elvis Presley the next, right? Well, they could think I'm different people. Wearing the same clothes for 6 months at a time. Okay, so does it work? Yeah, it'll do, right? All right, I'm brushing backwards now. That's a good test, isn't it? Okay, and that spot there, it hasn't worked. There's too much sweat there. That's worked, there it's worked. I didn't peel off any glue at all. I didn't even start peeling. I just went. Just pulled it off my head. So that, there's no reason for that not to stick, except for the fact that I think that's, well, to be honest, I think this hairpiece is on an angle and maybe back here. It hasn't lined up nicely. All comes out in the mix when your hair's dry and stuff. Anyway, that's stuck back down now. Because the reason I want to ask you about this is because I don't understand how glue works for a start. I kind of understand. I've observed patterns in my life that have shown me that when something's sticky, you can stick something to it and it stays. But I've never understood why when you peel it off and then put it back, it's less sticky. Have you put air bubbles now into it and fucked it up? I don't know. The issue with water is a big problem. The problem with poly as well is that there's no venting for heat to escape, and also for sweat to evaporate out. There's no way for sweat to evaporate out from under here. And you might say, well, if you have a thick layer of glue under lace, how is the sweat going to evaporate through that big squishy of glue? Unless you put splotches of glue and just leave like bits not stuck down. Maybe that would work with some glues, but with Ultra Hold, it would just melt in together into the filled gaps after a while anyway, unless you have big gaps. I wouldn't trust that. I mean, people have told me in the past, you only need to glue around the edges, dickhead. You don't have to glue the bubble in the middle. I probably do have to fucking glue the bubble in the middle. Because can you imagine the sweat build up inside this big sloshy bubble that's going, what's that noise? Nothing. I just had too much to drink. Why is it coming from your head? Why is there a big bubbly lump under your hair? Oh, that bubble. Yeah, brain tumor. Or big pimple. Can you squeeze it for me? Anyway, that's it. It sticks. It sticks. Will I come back and show you if it's still stuck down in an hour? Nah. What difference is it gonna make? I mean, these are the worst possible conditions right now. And so I'm all covered in water and fucking t-shirts feel sticky and wet and shit from the sweat and humidity. 61%. Can someone explain to me what that 39%, what's the rest of it, air? It doesn't feel like, how is steam not 61%? I would have thought steam would be about 50%. It's not, I don't see water vapor, I'm in a fog. Okay, I don't understand humidity. I'll go look it up, what the fuck it means. Because maybe it goes up to 3,000% or some shit, some weird scale. They didn't know what percent means of 100. Anyway, so it's been a couple of hours. You want to see how it's going? I just peeled that straight off, didn't I? You know what it is? I'm sweating there. It feels like it's solidly held, but there's that whole, it's been wet and it's like, it's not like I cleaned the sweat off that before I put another layer of alcohol on there or some shit. How would I solidify that back down? The leverage really comes from the front hairline. And what the hell was this all about? Was that already down that far? Because that side seems to be up at the right spot there. Well, not exactly, but a bit of a fucking mess actually. I was hoping it was going to prove to you that it fucking worked, but I've proven that it hasn't properly worked. We somehow climbed on top. Oh, that's the chunk that's missing. See, this is the thing, and I encourage all of you to really consider this. What are you thinking? I'm gonna get a hairpiece and have a brushed back look? That's pretty optimistic, really. It's totally, worldwide, acceptable to have a brushed forward look, right? Hairlines cannot be trusted. Mostly because of the sweat, mostly because of the hold. But also, I want to ask you this. When you look at that, if that was stuck down nicely, right? At the moment it's shiny and stuff, right? I'll just put some shine killer on it. There's absolutely no transition whatsoever. Check this out. Okay, right? Now, can you imagine if there was a tape in between that and that. That's 0.03 millimeters. Not 0.3 millimeters, 0.03 millimeters. And tell me tape is really not gonna bulge. Doesn't seem like the answer. It's not all about hold, it's gotta look good. Even though I'm saying have a brush forward looking chicken out of it, the whole deal. Honestly, I mean, if you were bald and you saw this and you go, holy shit, I'll be happy with a fucking brush forward, give me the hair. It's like, where do I get it? Actually, you can get it by clicking on the link at the end of this video. And for those people who are inquiring about why the link doesn't sometimes, sorry, my coupon code, StickOnHair, if you go to lordhair.com and you want to buy something, buy a big bunch of shit because you get a 20% fucking discount. So you spend $1,000 on something, you'll save $200 and buy it for $800, right? But if you buy something for $100, you'll get it for $80. So you only get $20 off. That's not as good, right? Yeah. Anyway, just buy 12 hair pieces and you get that massive savings up front. But you don't know what you want, maybe, I don't know. You haven't tried it before, so you don't know. And that's the thing. You can't use my coupon code more than once, I'm sorry. So if you've used it before, you can't ever use it again. You get one shot. But then they'll start emailing you discount and deals and Father's Day specials and shit, right? Once you bought from them. Unless you want to put it in the spam junk box or whatever. But yeah, keep your eye out for deals. If you're going to keep buying hair, you might as well get those coupon codes that they send you all the time. So that's the first deal. If you want to stick on hair coupon code on lordhair.com, you can only use it once. And second of all, you have to be logged in. If you're not logged in, the coupon code won't work. So you've got to register, respond to the email verification, and then log in, and then you're logged in. And then when you're checking out, use the coupon code StickOnHair, and if it's your first time, it'll work. Yeah, but like I say, if you've used it before, you can't use it again. And you're not going to really find 20% off very often, are you? So grab that deal. I recommend a 6-pack of S22. Just pick a color that's closest to you. I went with medium brown for a long time, and this actually is medium dark brown. So when I thought I'll experiment, because it's a bit of an expensive test, isn't it? I mean, you could send in a sample of your hair and get custom shit made. I don't know if you'd probably still get the 20% discount at the end of the checkout, but 8 weeks wait? No, fuck. I get my hair pieces delivered within a week through DHL because they don't charge you, they've factored in the shipping into the price they put on the screen. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. Very, very good hair company. Like I say though, when I try to take a hair piece, that's my favorite is poly, 0.03 millimeter, rather than lace, because I want to wear a motorcycle helmet, sometimes I want to wear a hat, sometimes I just want to glue the underside and push it back down. And the other thing is with lace, there are massive problems. Sunshine melts the glue and it shines up through, and then it sticks the hairs together through the lace, you know. And you're always picking away at the front hairline because glue seeps out on the front. It's just so much more maintenance. Poly is, I'd say 1/10 of the maintenance, or maybe 1/100th, 1% of the maintenance of lace. But you don't do that, you don't maintain it 100 times in its life cycle, I reckon. So, yeah, whatever. Anyway, did this stick as well as day one that I put it on? No. Is the answer to that question? Is it good enough for a brush forward experience? Yes, it's fine. Now, the leverage at the front is where all the problems will occur. For me, it occurs even more on these two edges here because I've got a very sharp edge on there and on there, right? So that's a very liftable spot. Those two spots are liftable. So you'll see with a brush, with some resistance, I can brush it, right? But you saw that earlier. So I don't know what I'm trying to prove here. I've already just shown you that it didn't stick properly. Don't know what to do about that bit tuft. It's also, it's useful when I'm brushing forward, and I never know what to do with it. I've never had the most well-behaved hair in real life. I mean, in real, natural life. Keep that all clean. Unlike that area, especially there. Yeah, if I tug on that, it'll start lifting as well. See? The best way to do that, to get that out, would be to use C22 and a baby wipe, instead of just doing what I just did, lazy. Don't just grab your brush and push on the forehead and just shove it up like that, because then you'll fuck it, right? Like I just did. Yeah. Has got less stick. Now it seems to me really, like if I was going to get the Botox done, do I need all of that done to stop everything dripping forward? Because really the main area I need is just there. That's where the leverage all happens. Then I don't want dripping happening from behind, just pushing like, I don't know, a puddle of fucking sweat underneath there. I'd say your skin also reabsorbs sweat that pulls underneath some sweaty gimp suit. So I reckon you could probably sweat a little bit under there. But tape, that sounds like a shit idea. I've tried it before, I mean, it was useless, but most glues have been useless to me because maybe I've got hyperhidrosis. Hyperhidrosis. I'm not going to make a hyperhidrosis song yet.